This is Growth Mode On, the podcast for business owners who are done guessing and ready to build with intention. Flip the switch, build your brand, grow your business. When your business depends on you explaining it, your authority resets, your growth caps out. And that's exactly what YouTube is meant to fix. If you're already running a successful business, this isn't about more content or more noise. It's about leverage. It's about building a brand that works even when you're not in the room. Most companies hit a point where growth feels heavier than it should. The message lives in the founder's head. The pitch changes depending on who's talking. The reputation is strong locally, but fragmented digitally. YouTube done right isn't social media. It's a trust engine. It's where future customers decide who they believe before they ever reach out. Today, we're breaking down the real reason YouTube scales business growth and how branding turns effort into authority. Here's the takeaway. Growth breaks when it depends entirely on you. The businesses that scale aren't louder, they're clearer. Their message is consistent. Their authority shows up before they do. That's the real power of YouTube. Not views, not virality, trust at scale. This is Growth Mode On. Flip the switch, build your brand, and grow your business. Hey guys, welcome back to our show. Today we are talking about color and exactly why and how color affects your business. I mean, you can have the same product, two different businesses selling the same product, and one company will be successful and the other won't because of color. So Jill, why is color important in branding?
Oh, I mean, it's a huge part of it. I mean, you're choosing a color based off what the product is, who the audience is, who you want to sell your product to. I mean, it's really important. It's everything. I mean, other things are important as well. I just had an episode about copywriting. That's super important as well. That ties in perfectly with design, and a big part of design is color. So it's super important.
So when you're designing something, do you think in color?
Oh, yeah.
What does that look like?
Well, I see everything as an art canvas. So I see art in everything. I see color in everything. I don't know if that answers your question.
Definitely it does. Yeah. That's interesting because, I do martial arts, right? A lot of times I'm thinking about things in terms of martial arts, like in movement and blending and harmony and peace, because that's what I studied. So I'm thinking that way. And as you as a designer, man, that must be pretty cool because when you're looking at your canvas.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I can think of a ton of examples, but I guess the obvious ones, like you're walking into an office and I mean, because colors make you feel certain emotions.
Exactly.
Whether you're conscious of it or not.
Yeah.
Because I know you'll talk about this further down, but colors can make you feel bad.
Oh, definitely. So I got that story, right? I mean, I remember when I was a little kid and my dad is a radiologist and he opened the first outpatient MRI clinic in the country, which actually I think is probably in the world. But what happened is that he was working in a hospital and they had bought the latest MRI. This is the first time MRIs came out. And MRI is a magnetic resonance imaging where they use a magnet to be able to take pictures in your body. And it's incredibly detailed. Like you can see soft tissue. It's amazing. It was an amazing technology back then. It's like AI today. I mean, it was just amazing technology. And patients would come into the room to get their MRI and they would feel sick. And every patient that walked in, they didn't feel good. They felt bad. So the board of directors, the directors of the hospital thought it was the machine. And they thought, because this is a new machine, it's making people sick. So they wanted to get rid of it. And I have no idea why my dad thought of this, but he said, well, I'll buy it from you guys. And he bought it at like less than a garage sale, cheap price, put it in an office and opened up the first outpatient MRI clinic. And now, if you're going to go get an MRI, you're not going to the hospital. You're going to an outpatient clinic to get an MRI. So that's just a very interesting story. And then later on, the hospital realized they did something else in that room and the patients would come into that room and they would still feel bad. And then they realized it was the color of the walls.
I totally see that happening.
Yeah.
Do you happen to know what color those walls were?
No, I don't.
I bet it was an ugly gray.
Yeah, it's probably an ugly gray. Yeah, because hospitals back then were just ugly colored, They didn't have designers like they do nowadays.
I'm assuming they didn't.
Yeah.
Well, think of like a children's hospital.
Oh, yeah. They use color.
I can assume kids are scared and they're uncomfortable. And you see color. Well, at least the colors they chose.
Yeah.
Like that the hospitals would choose. Like obviously a designer goes in there and they choose. They're very intentional about the colors they choose. And it's uplifting. It feels good. It feels nice.
Yeah. And that goes into like in the last episode, we were talking to Nayeli about copyright, how important copywriting is. But I think color comes before that because your brain, the copywriter is trying to get you to stop the scroll with the text or trying to make you experience the brand with the reading. But that takes time, right? Where the color, when you're scrolling through the color, your brain is processing that right away.
Very unconscious.
Very unconscious. And we feel certain ways because of color.
Yes, definitely.
Like the red hot sports car.
Or, well, red is kind of a tricky one because red can also, it can mean excitement, but it can also mean warning, emergency. So that's where it depends on what your product is, like what message are you trying to transmit. Also the shades of red. There are hundreds of shades of every color. So you have to be very strategic with the color you're using.
Did you know that police officers tend to single out red cars?
Yeah, I knew that.
Give them tickets more often. So if you're buying a car, don't buy a red car.
Don't buy a red one. Yeah. I can totally see that.
So colors are faster than words. And so you as a business owner really need to take that into consideration when you're creating your assets for your business and the branding, right? And that's why it's so important to hire a graphic designer because they understand all that stuff. They can put it together in a way that boosts your brand and helps the customer, the potential customer, the viewer, understand what your brand is all about. Which brings me to the next very, very important topic. Are the colors that you currently have, are they bringing you the wrong customers?
I mean, it can absolutely happen.
Yeah.
I think it's probably very common.
Yeah.
Especially for business owners who don't use a designer.
Yeah.
And they kind of just want to put something together or, just make this logo for me. Use this color.
I think
it can absolutely happen.
I think the most typical one is the business owner likes this color and thinks that this color is good, but they're not thinking about the impact it has on the people that are going to be a customer.
Well, we can talk about Tiffany.
Tiffany's,
the jewelry brand. Yeah, like they have this very beautiful turquoise color and it's very elegant. Like you look at it and you feel elegance. It just feels good. It's like the color of the ocean. It feels good. It's a feel good color.
Yeah. And it feels expensive.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But imagine Tiffany's rebranding to like orange and red.
Yeah.
Like a color combination that's just like cheap. Yeah. You would 100% get a different type of customer that, like, for example, Tiffany's, they're selling towards customers that are willing to pay a lot of money for their jewelry. So, but for example, changing their color scheme to like red and orange or something, you would get a different type of customer. And they wouldn't expect the jewelry to be expensive if they see that color scheme.
This is definitely an episode that we have to make, like, just focus solely on this in the future.
Totally.
Maybe the next episode we'll just focus on how the color is bringing the wrong customer to your business. It'd be a lot of fun. It's like we call up a business owner or we get in touch with a business owner and we just look at the colors that they're using and kind of grill them. Why did you choose this color?
Yeah.
Do you know how you're positioning your brand by using these colors? Yeah, that would be fun. That's a whole episode. Yeah, so that goes into positioning your brand through color. And then, we just talked about that, like with Tiffany's. Yeah, and then just some companies that use colors, like especially like Best Buy, McDonald's, UPS, Nikon, they use this like warm orange, like yellow-orange. It's more like yellow. Yeah.
Which one, Nikon?
Yeah, Nikon. It's like a yellow.
More like yellow.
And then the emotional guide behind that is like optimism, clarity, warmth. Then you have Coca-Cola, which they use that red that kind of symbolizes excitement. Target. I don't think they use the same red. It's like a red.
But that one was a good one because it is a Target. Targets are red. Yeah. Traditionally. Exactly. So that was a good one. That was an obvious
very
choice.
On brand.
Yeah. I also think of Barbie, for example. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
You're not going to, you're not going to use black.
No.
Or gray with a Barbie brand. Yeah. It wouldn't make any sense. It's going to confuse people. Yeah. People are going to be expecting something else. Yeah. If they see a gray with a Barbie brand. Yeah. It would be very confusing to people.
Let's talk about Buc-ee's. What colors does Buc-ee's use?
Okay. I'm driving on the highway. If I think of their billboards, a lot of black and yellow.
Yep.
But let's see. Let's confirm because you're Googling. Yeah. A ton of yellow.
So it's like a yellow red and brown and white. They're using those colors. And I think it's like, what do I feel when I see those colors? It's kind of like fast and cheap. And
they're also warm colors too.
They're warm colors too.
They are warm.
Yeah.
They are, it is inviting.
You know what? I did discover that actually the fuel pump at Buc-ee's, the prices are lower than anywhere else.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me actually. Because if I see this branding, I know what Buc-ee's is, but if I were to just see this branding, I would not expect this place to be expensive.
Right? Because of the
color scheme.
Yeah. So that's a great example on how color is used. So Jill, what do you think about a company that's trying to rebrand and positioning their brand through color if they're rebranding?
It's definitely something to consider. It's a huge part. But just because you're rebranding, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to change the colors.
Especially if they're working.
So, we can have a whole episode on rebranding. Rebranding, like the logo is a more obvious rebrand. Like usually when people rebrand, it's more the logo, not necessarily the colors. Because Because then it's a brand new business. I mean, you want people to know, like, let's say Olive Garden, for example,
they did
right?
rebrand. Yeah,
They did rebrand.
pissed off a lot of people.
It says that people get attached. Like colors, I mean, they evoke a lot of emotion in people, and people are loyal to the brands they like. Like imagine Buc-ee's rebranding.
Yeah.
I think that would upset a lot of people.
That would.
But going back to the color scheme, Payless is another one.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken, Payless kept their same color scheme. They just rebranded their logo. And this is off of the top of my mind. So you don't have to rebrand the color. It's mostly people tend to do logos more. But if the color is completely off, and it's so ugly and old school, or like maybe the 2 or 3 primary colors are they just have a very ugly contrast, then absolutely rebrand. You want your current clients to still recognize you and not be like, oh, this is a totally new business and I have no idea who they are. Like, I mean, you don't want that either.
People associate colors. Like you associate with colors. That's interesting. I mean, and of course it kind of leads into growth. I mean, we're trying to grow our companies. I'm trying to grow my company. Maybe I chose the wrong colors. I don't know, but I like the colors that I chose just because it's like YouTube red, my excitement, bold, I'm trying to be bold with excitement. YouTube is so exciting for me.
I think you have a great color scheme.
Yeah.
I think it's very appropriate for your website. Because it does represent like boldness and a lot of confidence. Like that's what your website transmits to me. A lot of confidence and boldness.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so when you've got your company and you're thinking about growth, definitely focus on colors. And I think, just to close it out, I think that's extremely important reason to hire a graphic designer. We talked in the last episode about hiring a writer and just how important that collaboration between creatives is for your company and your growth.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's just that everything works together. And I wasn't going to go into it, but for example, typography is another big one. Imagine the Barbie logo, not with the current typography it has now, but imagine the Barbie logo with like the Animal Planet typography. I mean, it wouldn't transmit what you're trying to. We can have a whole episode on typography.
Definitely.
But all of those elements work together: the color, the writing, the typography. It's a huge collaboration.
So now we've got 3 episodes in the works, right? So we've got typography, we've got the rebranding, and then we have is color bringing you the wrong customer. I think those are 3 great episodes that you guys out there can look forward to listening to helping you grow your business.
Yeah, totally. It'll be fun.
All right. Thanks a lot for being here and see you in the next episode.
All right. That's it for today's episode of Growth Mode On. If you want my eyes on your business and a real practical plan you can actually execute, book a free 30-minute strategy session with me. The link is in the description. We'll look at what you're selling, who you're trying to reach, and how to turn YouTube into a predictable growth engine. And hey, if this episode helped even a little, subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And drop a comment with your biggest takeaway or the thing you're stuck on. I read them all. Links in the description for the 30-minute session, and I'll see you in the next episode.